Okay, folks, coming into the higher calling. This is Jocelyn Linton, Sunday, the 22nd of July 2008. The pamphlet here says Mary Magdalene. I've just taken note of that. I'm at St. Edmund's Church, Yeading, near to Heathrow Airport. You're welcome to come and join our service. It's a Eucharist service. It's usually between 10 and 11:30. I try to be here by 9. Preparing myself for the podcast. So the service has ended. I'm on part 3. And Father Barry, he spoke on Mary Magdalene, and I enjoyed the message where he said that she was the first witness of the ascension process of Jesus and also the first apostle. And she was able to give that witness to the 12 disciples of Jesus, or I'm going to say the 11, the apostles of Jesus, okay? And I'm talking about metaphors, that the Holy Scriptures is really, the word is a metaphor, okay? And that means, and I am saying it, Jocelyn Linton, that means it's applicable today, okay? And we are to look for the signs of it. We are to look for the evidence of it as well, because she's bearing witness. And that sounds like a judgment, the judge and the jury. Okay? The judge will make his final verdict, and the witness will come forth. Okay? But the witness will also bring news to others who will also bear witness. Okay? So the judge will be able to gather the verdicts of the witnesses and make up his own mind, but we know that the Lord has already judged. And he's judged those who are under the dark forces. He's judged those who we call the dark forces, because they do not know his heavens. You see. So they already have a judgment. And I'm going to say they're undergoing the judgment, you see. And we, in the flesh, are witnesses that we shall bring to the Lord what's been happening to us on the earth in our lifetime. This long suffering, this sickness and disease and dying, this aging process, this bad relationships and bad finances, see? And all the perils that we've had to undergo. We're witnessing it in the flesh, and we're going to report it to the Lord, because every man, wife, brother, sister, we're all, each of us, each person, each soul is accountable to the Lord. So the Lord has been asking us. I need to go now, Madge. Okay, the Lord has been asking us to uphold all that is good, okay, and to abhor all that is evil. So now the church warden, she wants to lock the church now. We've got the second church coming in, but they haven't arrived as yet. So I'm going to have to leave the building. What I'll do, I'll continue this outside. So hopefully I'll be able to be successful with the pause here. Okay? Take care. Okay, welcome to the show. This is Jocelyn Linton, coming into the higher calling. Today is Sunday, the 22nd of July, 2018. I'm outside St. Edmund's Church. I'm in the park here, very close by. And hopefully I've been successful on pausing the podcast that I was doing just a while ago. This is part 3. And it's a shame that the church wardens are saying that they can't leave me in the church alone. And it's only for about, say, 15 minutes, because the other church will come on in. But they said it's for safety and security, that if anything has happened to me. But I'm going to tell you this, folks, that the moments will soon arrive when the people will realize the relevance of what I am saying, the relevance of it to their life, the relevance of it to their salvation. So all now, people are unaware, unrealizing, and not in the consciousness of the seriousness of the moments, the unfolding moments of the earth as the earth is ascending to meet her heaven. And so I'm going to continue with the readings of the morning. And as I said, the pamphlet here, it says Mary Magdalene. And Father Barry, he gave us a definition of Mary Magdalene and her name. He said that writers have given another inscript of her, which is very distasteful, and aligning it with that she was a prostitute before she became an apostle of Jesus. But he said, don't listen to that at all. She was in purity of form. And my mind took a side thought on that, because it reminds me of the story of the woman at the well, where Jesus spoke to the woman at the well, and he said, if you knew who I was, you'd know that I would be providing the heavenly waters that will fully satisfy you. But right now, you've had 5 husbands, and so what? And I tend to sidetrack, but stay with me on this, folks. So what Jesus was saying to the woman at the well, and that's in the Gospel of John. The wind is blowing now, folks, so I'm not able to jump from scriptures to scriptures because it's blowing my pamphlets across the grass, and I won't be able to chase that. And I won't be able, but I will be able. The Lord will enable it in me. So I'm just trying to flick over to the Gospel of John 4. It says here, where the woman at the well. So the woman of Samaria. So Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when you shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship, ye know not what. You know not what. We know that we worship, for salvation is of the Jew. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh not to worship him. But if I just move on up here, just keep this wind from blowing. The woman said unto him, so this is John 4, and I'm reading verse 15. The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither hither to draw. I'm going to go up to verse 13. Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Jesus said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. And Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast is not thy husband. In that saidest thou truly. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when he shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye not what. We know that we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh to such worship him. So, folks, the Father Barry was saying that, there have been writings on Mary Magdalene saying that she was a prostitute. Now, I want to take that, but that's not the case. She was pure. However, what I want to add on to that is when Jesus spoke to the woman that she had 5 husbands. What he's saying to her is that presently you've been under 5 kingdoms, according to the story of Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar. You've been under the Babylonians, you've been under the Persians, you've been under the Greece, you've been under Romans, and now you're under the British and Russia, the lion and the bear. And I heard Mr. Putin saying that the bear is okay. The bear is okay in the woods there. So we've been under all these 5 kingdoms, but we have yet to come under the true kingdom, which is the kingdom of the Lord, the kingdom of heaven. That's his saying, and that's where the true waters are, the waters of everlasting life. You see? So that's what he's saying. And the woman represents the pure spirit. But because the woman has been under the dominion of these kingdoms that came upon the earth, she's not in the purity of herself. And when he talks about worshipping, he means that you're worshipping in this folly mind, this fleshly thinking mind, this mind of sin, this mind of pride and ego, this mind of vanity. That's what he's saying to her. But he's saying when we come into our true mind, Jerusalem, we align up with the mind of the Lord. Now we have heavenly visions. Now we're in the spiritual mind. We see through the spiritual eye. So that's a completely change of climate. That's the climate change, folks. And these words that I'm telling you, they are a gem of the words. And I just pray and ask the Lord of heaven to be with me upon these words, that they won't be used lightly. They won't be counterfeited, because you always find that there's a counterfeit for every true living word of the Lord. And that this message is truly coming from the Lord's sent message, from the Lord's prophet. Yes, folks, the Lord has told me that I am his prophet. Yes, folks, the Lord has told me I am poor, meaning blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So I am saying, by the word of the Lord and the evidence, the witnessing of the Lord, that as I speak this word, it is coming from the true Lord of the heaven, maker of the earth, the heavens and the seas. The Lord has said through the psalmist that all the gods of the people are idols, but the Lord made the heaven. And he has sent 2 messengers, myself, Marjorie, Joycelyn Linton, and Mr. Barack Obama. We are sent messengers from the heavens. And I am giving you a message right now from the Lord. I am giving you his word. The Lord says he doesn't send message, he sends his word. So I have to say this carefully. Okay, and the reason why I'm speaking this way now, folks, in the third part, is because of the knowledge that I'm divulging onto you. This is something I had to write, as I said, between the year 2004 and 2007. And I begrudge it. I'm like Jonah. The Lord sent Jonah to give word to these people, because he said they don't know their right hand from their left hand. They're in total confusion. And Jonah begrudged it. He didn't want to go, so he went somewhere else, and that's me. I don't want to give the message to the people. I'll go somewhere else rather than give the message to the people. And you may say, well, why? Because the people are not nice. When I give them the message, they are horrid to me. They will even call the police. The police will come and put me in cufflinks and take me to the hospital to put injections in me because of mental health. They have been so horrid to me over the years that I don't want to give them the good news. I don't want to give them the message for them to put punishment on me again. But the Lord has shown me Isaiah 50, and it's just the other day I realized what he was saying to me. And he said, you have to turn your other cheek to the smiters. And I learned that from last week's preaching from from Father Barry. He said they will come and smack the cheek. But you have to stand up for the righteousness of the Lord. You have to be strong in the word of the Lord and the deliverance of who he is to the people. Though they may smite you on the cheek, you give the other cheek. Yes? But it's easier said than done, folks. It's because it's very injurious, you see. So that's why I'm speaking in the way I am, because